Okay.
13th of September, Rabbi Furst, Pierke Avos, Rosh Hashana. This is the second part of the shir.
Thank you. Though again, you were continuing again. Let me put this on your screen. Okay. Right. So you see the reference to the phrase that being made mention over here in the Elyon. That's one of the chapters of Sukkot Zimmer that we say on Shabbos morning. So we can include this this phrase as well. It's really it's a capital, it's a chapter from Tehillim.
I didn't find the phrase. Let's see. A thousand at his side and a myriad at his right. Let's see.
That's it. That is it.
Let's see if I see that.
So it's sort of in the middle. Toward the bottom of the first half, I'd say. About 7 psukim into that chapter.
Let 1,000 camp at your side and a myriad at your right hand. Let's see if I can find the Hebrew. Yipol mitzidcha elef urvava miminecha. It's a little bit different. I don't see the word yipol.
Right. He's not he's not quoting the whole pasuk. The whole pasuk is Yipol mitzidcha elef urvava miminecha ilechet lo yigash. That they'll fall 1,000 at your side and 10,000 on your right side, and by you, you'll be unscathed. It won't touch you. Won't befall you any harm. So he's just using the phrase, right? Part of that verse, using that phrase, Elef mitzita Elef urvava miminech.
Right. Right. So it's talking about us being victorious over our enemies.
Well, you mean in the Psukkot Zimra there?
Well, I'm talking about both places. When it says mitzido elef, 1,000 at your right and a 10,000 at your 1,000 at your side and 10,000 at your right. It's talking about them being defeated, right?
Well, actually, I'm not, to tell you the truth, in the context of the pasuk in Tehillim, I believe it's actually that I'm not sure those who are befallen. I'm not sure if those are friends or foes that it's being referred to being fallen, because lo yiga. I mean, it says, but to you you'll be unscathed, meaning. I'm not sure if in the context of the pasuk there, that's the person who is being saved and his friends are falling, or in terms of his enemies are falling, and he'll be untouched.
Well,
yeah.
If you read the bigger context,
Go ahead.
I think it's pretty clear. It says, "You shall not fear the terror of night, nor of the arrow that flies by day, nor the pestilence that walks in gloom, nor the destroyer who lays waste at noon." And now our pasuk, let 1,000 encamp at your right side. 1,000 encamp at your side, and a myriad at your right hand, but to you they shall not approach. You will merely peer with your eyes, and you will see the retribution of the wicked.
Right.
So, given that fuller context, it seems like it's saying that don't be afraid, even if they're all around you and it seems bad. It's just so that you can see that they don't succeed.
Right, but so, okay, so now this expression, yipo, how do they translate yipo? Yipo mitzid
Camp.
ke'elef. They'll encamp.
Yeah, but
Okay.
it seems to me that fall is nafal is to fall, right?
Right. Let's see. Do you know? Do you say in your which capital that is?
I'm sorry.
91.
Oh,
Which
what Tehillim? It's Tehillim
91.
Sadi Aleph.
study 91. Okay, 91. Let's take a look. Good morning again, man. We're trying to figure out the pshat and the pasuk over there.
I found it in my Siddur. I can't find it here, though. Hold on.
91.
I hate that. Oof.
Yeah, I mean, right. I mean, that's the way my translation is. Yipo, they'll fall, right?
Oh, you told me to the Elef Yeravami Minecha. Yeah.
Right. So loose translation says they translate Yipo as in camp, but I don't think that's correct.
I have will
Yeah,
fall.
in Tehillim it says fall. It says 1,000 shall fall at thy side and 10,000 at thy right hand, but it shall not come near to thee. Only with thy eyes shalt thou behold and see the recompense of the wicked. But it's the same context.
Right.
The wicked ones are falling at your side.
Yeah. I mean, okay. I mean, so I mean, I'm just trying to imagine what the pasuk is describing over here. Meaning, if according to the way the enemies are falling, right?
Right.
So this person's in the midst of the enemy.
Right. That's the way I'm reading it.
So it's describing a person who's in the midst of the enemy, and the enemy is falling on his right and on his left, but he'll be untouched. Does that seem to be correct, Mayor?
Yes. It seems. In my commentary, I think Lewis is too. Only a person who is delivered from danger because of his own merit is accorded the privilege of witnessing the downfall of his enemies. But if saved only because of the merits of others, like Lot, because of Abraham, the man is forbidden to witness. The man is forbidden to witness the suffering that he too deserved to share.
Right.
That's a quick commentary by Art Scroll. It's the Ohalos Yehuda.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Actually, I see that Rashi brings down Loshin the Yipo Mitzid Ke'elev Loshin Chenia Kmo Bereshis Al Pnei Kol Echad Nofa Chenia. And I see that the Mitzvah is not. The question is it talking? If it's talking about a plague, because one of the previous psukim was discussing about a plague, right?
Yeah, devastating pestilence.
Right. So it doesn't necessarily.
Right.
So according to the Metzudas David, it's talking about that the people who are falling here are the people who are falling because of the plague.
Uh-huh.
So they're not necessarily enemies, right?
But why does it say the wicked?
Because they are being struck down by the plague.
Oh, so we're presuming that the plague only strikes down the wicked?
Well, I mean that itself is a difficult concept to understand. That many times you don't see that, but here in this context, the pasuk's referring to a person who Hashem is taking special consideration for. So, I mean, even though it doesn't say. I mean, the question is, where does the concept of wicked come into this chapter of Tehillim, right? I mean, do we see clearly that it's referring to people who are wicked in this chapter of Tehillim?
It's not really clear.
Right. So it doesn't have to be that they're actually people talking about wicked people. It's going to be talking about all people, and it's not necessarily speaking about the enemy either. Although when it's describing about the arrow, right? About the arrow. So usually the fact that an arrow is being shot indicates that there's somebody who's not so happy with you on the other side of that arrow. All right. Suffice it to say, um, um, the Peleioids, getting back to our subject with the Peleioids, he brought this expression. You should know that in the earlier, especially at the time of the Rishonim and the earlier commentaries, they very often used phrases from Tanakh in their writings. Right? But I mean, they were obviously very familiar with the words of Tanakh, and they felt very comfortable with their understanding of what those words meant. So when they're writing, they included many times direct quotes from Tanakh as part of their sentence structure, rather than inventing phrases on their own. They just used the phrases that were widely known and accepted because they're included in Tanakh.
My note says
So this kapitel Tehillim, the words Elef Mitzidcha, right, and Ravovim Yiminecha, that is the reference that the Peleiois is using over here.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So, but here the Peleiois is using that in reference to the person's sins, meaning if they'll just take as he said, if a person will just take a quick glance at his life, at his behavior, they'll find many different sins, right? Thousands, if not 10,000s. Now, uh, how are you supposed to explain that? Okay, um, if you look back what the what the Peleioids said a few sentences before. Okay, I'll tell
sorry,
you
I'm
where to.
taking a call. I'll excuse myself for a second.
Right. Here, may I take a look at what he says over here? And then we're in paragraph 8. That you see there in the fourth. This is the fourth line. Yifash Fesh B'Maisav, right?
Hold it. The fourth line down.
Actually, better, I'll tell you what. In the second page, right? You have the second page. So
Right.
go three lines. The beginning of the third line. Yodea kol ma'aseh ish.
Ish, right. Okay.
This is a reference to Kadosh Baruch Hu. Yodea kol ma'aseh ish. So Kadosh Baruch Hu knows all the behaviors of a person. Knows all the behaviors of a person.
Okay, so Makshvotav, so his thoughts also.
Good, right?
The Tachbolotav.
So tachbulosav or tachbulot are strategies or like plans. So Kadosh Baruch Hu knows the thoughts of a person, right? And he knows the plans of a person. He knows what this person's planning. What's this person planning to do today, right? He's planning to rob a bank. Is he planning to spend the day at the beach? Is he planning to do a review of his Gemara learning for that day yesterday? What's this person's plans? What is the person's plan in life? Right? What is the person planning in life? What's this person's whole concept of what life's about? What's this person planning to do with his life? Right? What's he planning to do with his vacation? Right? What's he planning to do with his Shabbos? Right? Hashem knows all this tachbulot. The person knows all the plans of a person. Go ahead, some more. The called talumois slave and all the like the ponderings of his heart. Meaning even when a person's relaxed and he's letting his mind roam freely in the vistas of his imagination and fantasies, where does a person's mind take him? Right?
Right.
Hashem knows where a person's mind is going to. What is his mind drawn to? Right? It's a relaxed moment. Whatever. Maybe he's driving and it's a red light, right? So he doesn't have to concentrate on the street so much right for that moment. So what is his mind shift into? He shifts his car into neutral, right? But now his mind is in neutral also. So when his mind's in neutral, where does it go? So Hashem knows all those things, right?
Right.
So now jump down to that fourth line. A person should examine. Is like to examine. Literally means to feel out. To feel out, just like the Mesilas Yesharim uses this expression. It's actually Gemara that uses this expression. He should feel out, meaning just like if a person wants to evaluate the quality of a garment, right? If he wants to evaluate the quality of a garment, right, you should. In earlier times, they didn't have fabric labels. They didn't tell you what it was made of, and it didn't tell you the quality of what it was. So if you're looking at a garment, you were looking at a fabric. If you wanted to know about the fabric, you would feel it. You would feel it. Is it strong? Is it weak? Is it soft? Right? And that yafas means what you feel and you understand the quality of the garments. So so you'll feel out, you'll examine, you analyze your ma'asim, and and you come to an examination and a realization of the quality of your deeds, of your behavior. So a person, if he's going to examine his deeds, if he'll examine his deeds within a short moment, his eyes will see and detect his sin.
Right.
And what does he see? Now this brings us to that phrase that we went off to the Tehillim for, right? On his side will be 1,000, and on his right side will be 10,000. And we're talking about sins over here. We're talking about sins.
Right.
But
So-
no, Rabbi,
so
I think what we're saying is that if he does what it just said, if he does the examination
Right.
that it's talking about, then he's going to escape. The 1,000 and the 10,000 are all going to be affected, but he's not going to be affected because he did this fash.
Well, here he's speaking about the detection of what's there. Meaning, you have to first do an analysis of what's there, and then, right, you'll see, and what you're going to find. You're going to find that there are many. Look at the next part of the sentence, right? Mitzido elef u'revava mimiyeno. I'll go ahead if you want to continue. You can continue.
You want me to read?
Sure.
Ukimat shavar al kama la'avin uve prat hat liyom belev. So he in an instant that his averas there's so many and prat and specifically there's something in his heart. What is this to Levium?
To hatuluim believe those which are dependent upon the heart, meaning they're sins which are in the mind and the heart of a person. So the way I understand it is like if you're going to do this analysis, and within a short moment you're going to see that he's going to see and detect his sin, and they're going to turn out to be 1,000 on one side and 10,000 on his right side. And in a short moment he's over many negative commandments, over prat, specifically those which depend upon his mind and his life. That a person is going to give examples. He's going to go in a moment. He's going to give examples, but the person doesn't realize the depth of the judgment that's taking place. I mean, a person will he'll look at even if he will, and not everybody really takes the proper time to do it. Even if a person will, he's not going to find, in general, a person is not going to find too much fault with himself. I mean, the person sometimes he knows, maybe it's a problem. He has issues with keeping Shabbos properly, or maybe making brachas properly. The things, and maybe sometimes it might be lashon hara, maybe lending money with ribbis. So there's certainly a lot of things which a person has to be careful of, and if he's not, it's almost certain he's going to be in the world of prohibitions. But many times a person won't be able even to detect things which he's almost subconsciously doing and unaware of, as he's going to bring examples. But if you think about what he said previously, because you're talking about 11,000 just based on what the pasuk says, 1,000 on one side and 10,000 on the other side. You're talking about 11,000 sins, right? 11,000 sins, correct?
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to work that out a little bit. You have 11,000 sins. And so that's quite a lot. but if you take into consideration what he said above, meaning the Akash Baruch is examining us not on the not only on the specific sins. He's going to list specific sins which are very relevant and we need to try and make corrections about. But sometimes the as he said, that what is a person's plans? I mean, is he really living his life in a way that he's trying to serve Hashem, or is he serving himself? Right. So if a person is going to be primarily serving himself, meaning most of his thoughts and desires and behavior are into his own self interests and gratifications. And okay, if he's definitely davens. He goes to shul 3 times a day, and he definitely learns, and he does all these things. And but even nevertheless, a person could be in violation of many sins if his real plans, because he was talking about tachbulot. What is his person plan? What is his plans? What is the luma slave? What is his mind drawn to when he has that free moment? What is his mind drawn to? Is his mind drawn to how can he possibly serve a Kaddish Baruch better? Or is it planning out the next meal, right? So question is, each one of those things, if it's done properly, it can be a mitzvah. And each one of those things, if it's not going to be done properly, could be an avera. So those things could add up to thousands and thousands. But he goes on to list very specific sins. Let's take a look at what he says. Keep going.
We go. Vayikra lo tishana es achicha bilabavcha. What is this tishana?
Lo tisai, don't hate. Hate your brother in your heart. Don't have hatred for a fellow Jew.
Okay, so this is the first example of a sin.
Right, and this could happen quite a lot. The person for some reason he doesn't like a person, right? And maybe doesn't like a lot of people, right? And so it could be that every time he he brings to mind his hatred for this other Jew, he could be violating this negative commandment.
Right. Lo takum velo titar. I don't know takum or titar.
This is taking revenge and holding a grudge.
Lo tomats velo tik pots es yadcha va'ashin from divarim.
So this is you shouldn't be stingy. You shouldn't withhold your generosity. Someone needs your help. You should be willing and happy to help him.
L'yir es Hashem l'ahava oso l'lachas b'darchim b'darchav. You should revere Hashem and love Him. I don't know what lachas b'darchav is.
Lachas b'darchav. You should emulate a Kaddish Baruch.
To emulate Him, you should fear Him, and love Him, and emulate Him.
Right. Lachas b'darchav. Literally, lachas b'darchav. Go in His ways.
Right. Oh, b'leches, leleches. Va'asa do Avos lirad kamocha. And to do, I don't know what do Avos is. Kamocha, like him. Think like him.
The ase, and the ase of the ahavta l'recha kamocha. You should love your fellow, right, as yourself.
Love your fellow as yourself.
Right. Okay, he goes on. Maybe we'll have to stop here. We'll see. He goes on. Maybe if you want, we can go further in this list tomorrow. We can go further in his commentary. But he's just giving a list of very common sins that people could be transgressing, and without even them realizing it or thinking about it.
Right.
Good. Okay, so let's stop here for a short break, and we'll continue shortly with the Shir and Mr. Brewer.
Okay, Rabbi, thank you so much.
Okay, Lou. Right, thank you, Lou. Very good reading. Okay, we'll see you all shortly with Mr. Brewer.
Okay.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, good. Thank you.